Hello, I'm your host Muse, and today we're back with another recipe from the Stardew Valley cookbook. And today we're making fish stew. The fish stew is mixed seafood in a roasted tomato broth. In the game, you get it from Lily, and here it makes 4 to 6 servings. If you're looking for something a little bit more in the holiday spirit, I'm also doing a YouTube short series with the 2025 Woobles Advent Calendar. So since the Stardew Valley cookbook is still in fall, if you want something a little bit more in the Christmas spirit, you can go and watch that. First, we're going to preheat our oven to 375 and line a baking sheet with parchment paper. And we're going to get a pound of rainbow cherry tomatoes and cut them in half. Now we're going to put these in the oven for 45 minutes until the skins get all shriveled. Then we're going to take them out and let them cool completely. Now is a good time to get your 12 ounces of mussels and 12 ounces of either periwinkle snails or clams. Or I think it's specifically little neck clams, but I think we have a different type because it's all we could find at the moment. And you're going to want to wash them and scrub them. And then also we're going to get one big steak tomato, or beefsteak tomato, which I don't know why it's called a beefsteak tomato. It's not made of beef. But we just have a small and medium heirloom tomato, so we're going to just cut those in half, and then you're going to grate them on the big holes of a box grater until it's just the skins left. Now we're going to get 2 tablespoons of olive oil and put them in a small Dutch oven and let it warm up on medium heat. And then we're going to get 2 large shallots and chop them, mince 4 garlic cloves, and core, seed, and thinly slice 1 small red bell pepper. Now into that Dutch oven, we're going to add our shallots and season with salt and stir occasionally for 10 minutes until tender. Now we're going to add in our bell peppers and our garlic and like a pinch of crushed red pepper or pepper flakes, just that much. And then we'll stir frequently for about 3 minutes. Next, we're going to add 1.5 cups of dried white wine and our grated tomatoes. Also, since we're cooking the wine, you don't have to worry about any alcohol. We're going to raise the heat to medium-high and let it cook until the liquid is reduced by like half. Now that our tomatoes have completely cooled, we're gonna put them into a food processor along with 4 cups of a seafood stock or the shrimp stock from the cookbook, which I will link down below. And then we're going to blend it until smooth. Now we're going to add that stock and let it come to a boil in about 10 minutes. Here we have 1 pound of steelhead trout. You could also get salmon. And we skinned it and cut it into 2-inch pieces and heavily salted it. Now we're going to set it in there in the broth and let it cook for an amount of time that is 2 to 3 minutes until it's like just cooked through. So now here goes in our, we're just gonna use tongs, and here goes in our trout. We're just gonna place it in there to let it cook, instead of just like dumping it all, because then the pieces could break. Here we have 6 shrimp. For this part, you would either get live crayfish or crawfish or however you pronounce it. But it also says that you could substitute it for full shrimp with like the head and the legs and shell and stuff. We don't have them with the heads, but there's everything else there. And you would get the amount for like how many servings you have, or you could put like 2 in a serving. Oh, and then you're going to get your fish out with a slotted spoon. We're going to get out our fish bits and just put them on a plate. And you'll add in your other fish. And for the crayfish, you'd add them for 4 to 6 minutes until they get bright red, kind of like a lobster would. And if you're using the shrimp, then you would put them in for 4 to 6 minutes until they become, or 3 to 5 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes until they become more opaque. Now we're going to take out our clams with a slotted spoon and put them in the same thing as the shrimp. And then we'll add in our mussels for 2 to 4 minutes until they just open. Lastly, we're going to put back in all of our fish and stuff, and then ladle it into how many servings you want, and just make sure that everything's evenly distributed. And then get some flat leaf parsley leaves and use them as garnish.
A quote from Birdie. "This scent. It reminds me of my days at sea, sailing with my husband. We'd make big pots of seafood soup every time we managed to find tomatoes at some port or another. To think I'd almost forgotten."
And now it's time to try it. I'm going to try to get a bite with everything. I kind of prepared one. Oh, yes. Oh, I did it. I'm a professional. It's good. I like the very soupiness of the base. I think it gives a nice contrast to all the other added things in there. And I like how the more softness of like the shrimp and the fish mixed well with the more chewiness of the mussels and the clam. I thought that it made it so that like I didn't feel like I was just chewing for a long time, because I could break down the other things faster. And I thought that, I couldn't really taste the bell pepper, but at first I definitely could, because it had that more like a different crunch to it, or a different texture. But in general, it didn't do anything bad, and I'm guessing it probably did something good, especially with the flavoring. So all around, I think it's a good meal. And now you know how to make fish stew from Stardew Valley. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. And that's the 12th recipe in the fall section, which means that we only have one more episode left.